Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes, house.
Tapos ako, next.
That's Mr. See you again. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Chip.
Hi, dear. Good morning.
For 126 years, Manila Bulletin has stood in service to the nation, providing information, perspective, and continuity in a changing world. Founded in 1900, Manila Bulletin was established with a clear mandate to serve the Filipino people through credible and responsible journalism. From its earliest years, it has been an exponent of Philippine progress, documenting the nation's growth, challenges, and achievements, one story at a time. Through changing times and defining moments, Manila Bulletin remained constant, a trusted witness to history, and informing the nation. This is the responsibility of the nation's leading newspaper, a responsibility upheld for 126 years. Our service to the nation is defined by purpose. We inform with accuracy and fairness. We inspire by telling stories that reflect the Filipino spirit. We empower citizens through credible information that enables informed engagement in nation building. Because service through journalism shapes a stronger, more informed society. As media landscapes evolve, Manila Bulletin continues to adapt, embracing innovation while holding fast to credibility. From print to digital, we continue to serve every generation of Filipinos, anytime, anywhere, for 126 years. 126 years of truth. 126 years of credibility. Manila Bulletin. 126 years of service to the nation.
Ladies and gentlemen, we invite everyone to please rise for the prayer and the Philippine National Anthem.
O Almighty and Eternal God, we come before you with humble hearts, seeking a united spirit. Direct our paths with the boundless wisdom of your greatness, and open our spiritual eyes and ears to see and hear your truth. Grant us the grace to understand ourselves and the times we live in, and strengthen us not to pursue only what we desire, but to fulfill the duties you call us to with unwavering faith. Help us, O Lord, to see the goodness in others, to honor the individuality you have placed in each person, and to practice tolerance, expecting no more of others than we are willing to give ourselves. Preside over our deliberations, O Lord, and grant us the wisdom to choose rightly, the courage to act justly, and the steadfastness to carry out your will. In all things, may we be guided by your light and love. Amen.
You may now be seated.
All right, everybody. Good morning, UST, and hello, Tigers. Hello, Steph. Good morning, everyone. Are you all excited for this morning? I can hear all of you. Are you all excited for today? Yes, everybody's more than excited. Good morning also to our esteemed guests, respected speakers, faculty members, and students. Welcome to the 5th Manila Bulletin Sustainability Forum. Once again, a round of applause for everyone here. Thank you so much for joining us. It's going to be a very exciting morning and afternoon sessions with all of you. We'd also like to acknowledge the students and faculty members of Centro Escolar University, and as well as Thomasians joining us online. Welcome to the program. Thank you so much for being with us online. And also, everyone, again, my name is Robin Nambayan, and I'll be with you this whole day as we all engage in very timely conversations on uplifting communities through sustainable actions. Now, as many of you all know, the Manila Bulletin Sustainability Forum is an annual event that aims to inform and inspire audiences, all of you, not only to amplify the call to address sustainability, but also to actively engage and contribute to sustainable actions. Now, just last year, the Manila Bulletin Sustainability Forum highlighted that various organizations and leading corporations from different industries can create a shared vision that empowers the next generation, all of you right here, to practice sustainable choices. And this year, in this edition, the Manila Bulletin brings all of you a platform joined by industry visionaries from diverse sectors to share insights, share perspectives, and best practices in advancing sustainability. And of course, together with the emerging champions of sustainability, the youth, all of you here and all of you watching, we are going to talk about inspiring stories and initiatives that truly empower communities. All of those under our theme this year, Uplifting Communities, Sustainability in Action. Now, aside from the knowledge-filled conversations we will have today, you guys also have a chance to take home exciting prizes from our featured brand partners through our raffle draws. Our winners will be announced after our morning and afternoon sessions, so be sure to please scan the QR code. You're going to see all over the ballroom to be able to join in our raffle draws. So right now, everyone, let's get down to business. Let's start this one. And to officially welcome all of you, please welcome back here on stage, Manila Bulletin publisher, none other than Secretary Sonny Coloma Jr.
On behalf of our Chairman Basilia, our President Dr. Emilia, and the Manila Bulletin family, I'd like to welcome all of you to this event, especially our honored guest, Mayor Isko Moreno. Let's give him a round of applause. Good morning to all of you, our partners in advocacy, members of the academy, students, and colleagues in media. We are gathered today in the historic walls of the University of Santo Tomas, an institution that has stood for centuries as a beacon of knowledge, values, and nation building. It is therefore a fitting venue for a forum that speaks not only of sustainability, but of responsibility, continuity, and shared purpose. I warmly welcome you to this Sustainability Forum that is anchored on the theme, Uplifting Communities, Sustainability in Action. This gathering marks another meaningful step in our continuing commitment to environmental, social, and governance, or ESG advocacy. At Manila Bulletin, sustainability is not a passing interest nor a peripheral concern. It is deeply embedded in our mission and in the very words that define us as an exponent of Philippine progress. To be an exponent of progress is not merely to report on events. It is to help shape outcomes. It is to amplify voices that matter. It is to shine a light on solutions that uplift lives and protect our future. In recent years, ESG has emerged as a defining framework for responsible leadership, whether in government, business, or civil society. But frameworks alone are not enough. What ultimately matters is action. Concrete, memorable, measurable, and inclusive action that reaches the grassroots. This is why our theme today emphasizes uplifting communities. Because sustainability at its core must be felt where it matters most. Among farmers, adapting to climate change. Among fisherfolk, safeguarding marine ecosystems. Among urban families, navigating the realities of energy, water, and waste management. And among our youth, who will inherit the consequences of the choices we make today. The role of media in this context is both vital and evolving. We inform, but we must also inspire. We report, but we must also connect. We observe, but we must also engage. At Manila Bulletin, we have taken deliberate steps to elevate the national conversation on sustainability. Through our coverage, our editorials, and platforms such as this forum, we seek to bring together stakeholders across sectors, policymakers, business leaders, educators, and community advocates to exchange ideas, share best practices, and forge partnerships. We believe that sustainability is not the domain of a single sector. It is a shared responsibility that requires a whole of society approach, where innovation meets inclusion, and where progress is measured not only by growth, but by its impact on people and planet. Today's forum is an opportunity to move from dialogue to action. Let us use this platform to highlight initiatives that are already making a difference. Let us examine policies that can be strengthened. Let us explore innovations that may be scaled. And most importantly, let us listen to the communities whose voices must guide our efforts. As we engage in the discussions ahead, may we be guided by a simple yet powerful principle that progress to be true and authentic uplifts. It uplifts not just economies but lives, not just institutions but communities, not just the present but the future. In closing, we reaffirm Manila Bulletin's steadfast commitment to this cause. As the exponent of Philippine progress, we will continue to use our voice, our reach, and our influence to advance sustainability, not as an abstract ideal, but as a lived reality for every Filipino. Maraming salamat at mabuhay sa ating lahat.
Sustainability is shared responsibility in action. Thank you very much for that message. Manila Bulletin Publisher Secretary Colo. Round of applause for him, please. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's all begin learning. Let's now have our quick overview and information about this annual activity of Manila Bulletin. May we now have on stage Manila Bulletin Sustainability Events Co-Lead, Mr. Philip Cu-Unyeg.
Hi, good morning everyone. After the speech of Secretary Colomo, there's nothing more to be said. But we will try to do our best to at least ask some of you people to still have some new thoughts in mind. And the first thing I'd like to do is ask you guys to have critical thinking throughout the day. I think a lot of times sustainability is something that people just feel is something that is a bandwagon effect, or people feel that they just have to comply with. Whereas we've really carefully curated the companies who will be speaking today, and you will be able to see how a lot of them live and breathe sustainability in the course of their operations. No? As opposed to something like CSR, which is corporate social responsibility, and if you will understand and appreciate, it's often something that's done from the profits of a company after a year. But if the profits decrease, then there's not as much activity as in the previous year. Sustainability is supposed to be, as Secretary Colomo said, embedded in the operations of a company. So it's something that's been done with a lot of companies over the last couple of years. Some have been doing it for more than a decade. Others are still fresh in the game. But I want you guys to have critical thinking in terms of understanding and appreciating where they're coming from, and knowing whether it's something that they're really championing and how you can help be part of that solution. No? Before I close, because I think there's somebody who will be speaking after me who you'll be more excited to hear from. That's the Mayor Isko. There are just four concepts I just want you guys have to think about in terms of especially what's going on today. So the first concept is self-sufficiency. We've seen what's happening with the Iran crisis in terms of what's going on, and we have sustainability as one of the pathways towards creating self-sufficiency. So it's whether companies are really imbibing that and creating that scenario for us. The other thing is resilience. We are one of the most vulnerable nations. Whenever there's a typhoon, we are always reacting. We're never being proactive and preparing for the disaster. Whereas in other countries, you see there's a disaster that comes, but within a couple of days they've recovered, the economy is back in place. Whereas tayo, up to a week later, electricity may not have even been restored in certain communities. And so we have to also appreciate that there are companies who are trying to solve that issue and helping the government do that. And so those are the companies we should be also favoring and championing. Then the other thing is the circular economy. We've also seen how goods and services are so dependent on imports. And so we have to find ways to really correct that here in the country. So the companies that are also doing that. And last is governance. Governance, as Secretary Colomo said, is the often ignored Trinity member of the ESG agenda. We'll always talk about environment, we'll always talk about social agenda, inclusivity, and then governance is seen as just like an afterthought. When in fact, if you look what happened to the DPWH, for example, last year, there was really an issue with governance because it's from within how that organization, how that government entity operates and carries out its mission. And so these things, these four, self-sufficiency, the circular economy, resilience, and governance, should be part and parcel of how we're trying to create a solution for what these companies are doing and what we're trying to create for the Philippines in the future. And this future is your future. You students who are here today, whether from UST or CEU, it's your future we're trying to solve and trying to create a solution for. Because you'll often complain about what's going on in the country today, or say there are certain things that could be improved, or you look at the neighboring ASEAN nations and say there's so much more development there than here, whereas here it's sort of like 2 steps forward, 3 steps back perpetually. And so how can we create and stop that sort of pattern? And so these are the companies who are part and parcel of hopefully that solution. So I hope you'll appreciate it. So thank you very much.
So much to look forward to in our morning and afternoon sessions. Thank you very much for that, Sir Philip Cuinien. Now, everyone, yesterday, Manila Bulletin Business Development Manager, Sir Jordan Tan, talked about how media organizations can lead sustainability conversations during the One IFRA Digital Media Asia 2026 held at the Manila Hotel. Now, his talk highlighted how the Sustainability Forum unites policymakers, industry leaders, advocates, and communities to address really urgent environmental challenges. Now that shows that our Manila Bulletin Sustainability Forum is now being spotlighted globally as a platform for advancing sustainability dialogues and action. And for that, can we all give Manila Bulletin a big, big round of applause for that victory in their mandate. Congratulations, Manila Bulletin, and thank you so much, Sir Jordan Tan, for spearheading that. And so right now, without further ado, allow me to please introduce our keynote speaker this morning. He is none other than our 29th mayor of the country's capital city of Manila. Last February, he was given due recognition by the Million Trees Foundation and the bamboo sector for his administration's 100,000 bamboo tree planting program as part of the city government's expanded efforts in mitigating flooding and promoting environmental sustainability. Right here with us to talk about the local government sustainability practices that uplift the Manileño community, let us all welcome on stage Honorable Mayor Francisco Isko Moreno Domagoso.
Magaganda diction eh. Yari na naman ako, Secretary Coloma. But, hi! Good morning! Kung malapot pa mga dugo nyo. Hi! Good morning! Okay, magandang umaga sa inyong lahat at sa ating mga bisita sa malalayo pang lugar ng galing. But I would like to greet first our friend, partners of the community, the city, and the country, delivering news daily. Isa sa mga ginagalang na pabasahin sa ating bansa, ang Manila Bulletin, Dr. Emilio C. Yap III, President of Manila Bulletin. Sir, good morning. Secretary Coloma, of course, the publisher. Reverend Father Louis Coronel ng Universidad ng San Tomas. Micha Lagmiton, Director of Public Affairs, Universidad ng San Tomas. And Mr. Philip Cuinien. Sir, sa lahat ng mga bisita at mga mag-aaral, ay magandang umaga sa inyo. Pinagpapauna ko na. Isa po, alam niyo, nung nag-aaral ako, bagamat kulang ako sa sustansya. Pero marami naman laging paalala ang magulang ko sa akin. Na lagi niya sinasabi, mag-aral ka mabuti. At sabi sa akin ng nanay ko, mataas ang pangarap ng nanay ko sa akin. Tapusin ko raw ang high school. Dahil pag natapos ko raw yung high school, hindi na raw ako magbabasa ng diaryong pabaliktad. Pero nakataas. But it's not because ayaw niya akong magpulehiyo. It's just that hindi na namin yun ma-afford. It's a no-no thing for her. Hindi nakakayan. Kaya bagamat kulang ako sa sustansya, salamat sa Nutriban nung araw at saka clean na tinitira namin tuwing umaga. Ako'y pinilit kong magkaral ng maiki. Maswerte-swerte mo naman. Hindi ko alam kung teacher's pet pa ako. Medyo matataas ang grado ko. Except sa isang subject. English. Kaya kinakabahan ako dahil puro Inglesero itong mga sinundan ko, pati yung host, Inglesero. But just for the sake of others, to accommodate, maybe may mga banyaga tayong nandito, baka dumugo ang ilong nila pagka pinagpatuloy ko yung mother tongue language ko. But I'll do my best. Naipasa ko naman 10-5. Hirap ako dyan sa adverb, verb, pronoun, and noun na yan. But I'll do my best. But I am honored. Thank you very much sa inyo, sa organizer, inviting me and sharing some concept of governance that we've been doing for so many months now. Again, to Manila Bulletin Corporation, the administration and students of the University of Santo Tomas, to our business leaders, policymakers, and to every young person in this room who choose to spend their morning talking about the future. Thank you again. And welcome to the conversation that matters. You invited me to speak about sustainability, and I said yes without hesitation. Bagamat alam ko magsasalita ako ng wikang hindi naman ako masyadong pamilyar. But I always tell what I feel and I think to somebody who knows how to write things. And in fact, even in actions and planning, I try to hire the best people around me in their respective field of undertaking. But I immediately said yes. Because sustainability to me is not something you discuss only at forums. It is what happens or fails to happen. When a mayor wakes up before sunrise and asks himself, what does Manila need today? What did I miss yesterday? Who fell through the cracks? Alam niyo, inaalala ko yung pinitwitter ninyo, yung pinit-Facebook ninyo, grabe, posting tumutumba, kanal na mabaho parado sa langis ng mga restaurants and so on and so forth. Modesty aside, I look at it because it's somebody's concern. And that is the job. And I think one of the jobs of local chief executives. And that is sustainability, showing up every single day for people who have nowhere else to go. When we returned to office last June, Manila was greatly challenged financially, or if I'm speaking to accountants here, fiscally and physically. In every sense of word. There are mountains of garbage in the streets, literal, mini Smoky Mountain. Not in Tondo, but in front of Espana, Uste, FEU, CEU, Paco. I mean, it's everywhere in the country. There are billions of pesos in unpaid obligation, or what you call commercial obligation. There are two types of obligations in government. One, through GFIs, or through certain words in economics. The other one is the regular daily cost of operation. These are called commercial obligation. Kasama na dun yung AP. Yung AP kasi, IPP yan. Independent Power Producers. Or power producers. Pass-through Meralco, NBO Meralco, 300 million at that time. Basic services have broken down. The city that is supposed to be the capital of this nation was struggling to find its footing. What did we do? We did go to work. We cleaned, we paid, we built, we hit the ground running on day one. Not metaphor, but literal. In the first hour of the day, in the absence of curtains and some papers that we need to function as office, wala na kaming sinayang na oras. Hindi kami pinanghinaan ng loob. We took our disadvantage to our advantage. Mas madaling maglinis pag madumi. Mas madaling mag-ayos pag mas magulo. Kasi you see the instant results. And good thing doing those things, you'll see also your failures. And ayusin mo yung iyong pagkakamali. Try to be sustainable in our action. O may kasabihan yung sleep, eat, repeat. Sa salitang kalsada, kain, tulog, gala. Meron sinasabi yung kami, wake up, work, sleep, wake up, work, sleep. Like catching up of lost opportunity in the city. I think a lot of people calling Manila masyadong mabilis kumilos. It's not because mabilis kami kumilos. Because that's what you deserve as citizen of the city. Kailangan ang pamahalaan mabilis kumilos. Now we're here to talk about 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. No poverty, zero hunger, good health, quality education, gender equality, clean water, decent work, sustainable cities, reduce inequalities. I have gone through every single one of them. And I want to say something that does not get said enough in these gatherings like this. These goals are only as meaningful as the local government willing to carry them out on the ground. They do not implement themselves. They do not fund themselves. Somebody has to do the actual work. In Manila, in our own little way, we do our work. Good health and well-being. We opened the 7th hospital, and I challenge anybody in any forum. We, as a city of Manila, is the largest healthcare provider in the country as local government unit. Running 7 hospitals, 44 health centers. Just imagine the math. Kaya yung ibang mga kalapit bayan namin na mas mayaman sa amin, sa amin naman natakbo ang kanilang mga kababayan. Which we in Manila, we look at them not from somewhere else. We look at them as human beings. Kaya yung salitang welcome po kayo sa Manila, hindi lang po pang turista yun. Pati po pang pasyente. As far as Batangas, Cavite, Laguna. Yes. We wanted to implement what you call the universal healthcare. Sa Maynila man lamang, makakita sila ng pag-asa na sila ay malaki. And mind you, despite of we delivering healthcare to our people, we still need partnership with the private sector. Mamaya pumunta kayo doon sa Puste Hospital, UST Hospital. Pagtanong po ninyo, partner, kahapon lang mo, may nilabas na pasyente dyan. The city paid 400,000 for that patient. Ibig sabihin, kahit na malaki ang aming kamay, mahaba ang aming kamay, we still need to partner with private sectors, katulad ng UST hospitals. We launched the first ever local government unit owned and operate cardiac catheterization. Ito na naman. CATLAB. Pipilitin kong ipasa sa inyo. Cardiac Catheterization Laboratory or CATLAB in Hospital ng Maynila. We bought that with your taxpayers' money. It's a very expensive mechanism that conducts angiogram and angioplasty. Ang magagaling dyan sa public healthcare sector is the national government through Philippine Heart Center and PGH. We as local government, we really invested into this during my first term. Ironically, it was not utilized for the past 3 years. So the moment kami ni Cesar, Chief Cesar, when we assumed, on the first day, I went. How is it? It's not functional. It's not being utilized. So, again, Cesar, we, the ground control, operated, train our doctors, partnered with UPPGH, partnered with the Heart Center. And happy to announce to each and every one of you, couple of dozens of patients were served angiogram, and 3 weeks ago, we successfully operated or conducted angioplasty. 2 patients. Cost to the patient, 975,000 pesos. Each of them. Binili ko ng ano yun, parabula. Stent. We call it stent in the medical world. It costs 975,000 to a patient. Total bill, 0. Courtesy of the taxpayer of the city of Manila. So, ang tanong ko sa sarili ko, pwede pala, kaya pala. Even the middle class and the upper middle class can now avail of public health care, can now trust public health care. Kasi pagka medyo may choppy ka, or may pera ka, siyempre, ang presumption mo is, I'll go to Maddox, Puste, St. Luke's. Yeah, it's normal. But now, we putting more things, equipping our able medical professionals. And now, pag titingnan mo, side by side, delivering what the private hospital is delivering. In fact, 2 of my children, ginamot ng Hospital ng Maynila. Yung bunso ko, at kahapon, yung anak ko. Tuwa ko sa nanay nila, dinala sa Hospital ng Maynila, yung mga anak ko. Kaya sabi ko sa kanya, are you sure? Kasi siyempre, I have to ask her, she's a mother. No, we bring it there. And I'm happy. Ayun, nakalabas na yung anak ko. So, why am I telling you this is that maybe sometimes in case of emergency, top of mind natin na, of course, sa isang maayos na facility. But we offer this to the people. Anyway, pera nyo naman yan. Kayo naman ang namumunan dyan. Ginamit lang namin efficiently. Now you have an option. Now you have another chance, especially when you're economically challenged. And not only buying mga equipments. In fact, to sustain delivery of efficient healthcare in the city, we have to sustain also our machineries. A week ago, I just signed almost 200 million pesos acquisition of medical equipment. So we did not just put up a facility. We did not just hire medical professionals. We equip them. And we don't just buy equipment. We provide medicine. Yung buong ecosystem noong public healthcare ay pinipilit naming tugunan. Siya namang bagay na ikinalulugod ng mga pasyente. So far naman, pag tinignan niyo po yung ospital namin, para kung may pelikula ni Sharon Cuneta, lagi pong blockbuster yung aming mga OPD and emergency. Marami po. Magugulat ka, kahit gano'ng kalaki yung gawin mo. Ang laki po nung, I don't know if you've been to Hospital ng Maynila. Ang laki po nun. It's a 10-story, fully air-conditioned public hospital with so much open space, because I always believe in open green space. We don't just maximize space because we wanted to put up a building as bahala na si Tarzan. Kung magulo kayo dyan. We created open green space and spaces for people to, maging maliwalas. But still, until today, even yesterday when I went to Hospital ng Maynila to visit my daughter, ang daming tao talaga. Ang daming nagkakasakit. Grabe. Magugulat ka talaga. So, we don't buy, build, but also we invest to your health. Nang sa ganoon ay magkaroon kayo ng option. Second, quality education. I think mga batang Uste is one of the witness, going to be witness. Because across the street, you see that there is a building, a construction ongoing. Because that's what we did before, during my first term. Putting up, and I'm gonna reason out with you. Building 10-story, fully air-conditioned public school building. Why? Why build so big? My answer is, why not? Chocolate. And my reason behind is to be sustainable in such a way that we confront future problem, which is existing problem today and it's going to be a perennial problem in the next couple of years, which is the student-teacher ratio in a classroom. Population will grow, whether you like it or not, and a person born 7 years from now will occupy a space in a classroom or in that facility. And that's why you see Manila Science, Albert Elementary School, Rosauro Almario Elementary School. They are ready for the next 15 years of population growth. In fact, to add proof to that personal assessment of ours, nung giniba namin itong magsaysay na katabi ninyo, tingnan nyo saan pumapasok yung mga atabs dyan. Doon, sa Albert. Imagine mo na accommodate namin yung isang school just to be there temporarily. And kung meron naman kayong mga kamag-anak, tuloy-tuloy na itong magsaysay, huwag na kayong mag-alala. Tumigil din ng 3 taon yan. Ba't ganun? Pag nawawala yung dating leader, nawawala na rin yung programa. Tama yung mga sinasabi nyo, hindi sustainable ang gobyerno eh. Hindi sustainable sa utak. Sa idea, mukhang sustainable. Pero sa utak at damdamin yata, mukhang ang mga leader natin, mukhang hindi sino-sustain ng mga nagdaan. Alam niyo, what's ironic about this? Itutuloy na lang. You know, the easiest part of being a local chief executive. Ang pinakamadali kong ginagawa sa lahat, mangopya. Copy-paste. Literal. Kasi may kasabihan sa English eh. Hindi ko lang alam kung tama yung grammar ko. Correct me if I'm wrong. Don't fix if ain't broken. Tama ba yan? Tama po yun? Ibig sabihin, kung bumagana, ipinakikinabangan ng tao, eh bakit ka pa mag-iisip? Eh di mangopya ka na lang. When I did that kind of concept of governance with regard to Singapore's growth through the leadership of Lee Kuan Yew, he did something that amazes. Ano talaga ako na nagugulat, sabi ko, that's the worst place to live. Singapore is the worst place to live. I guarantee you this. But that was in the 60s. That was in the 60s. But, you know, nakita niyo naman kasi. So that's why it is very important that when you do something, pilitin mo na tapusin. At this time around, huwag ka maglala, ayoko na umalis ng Maynila. Nakakatakot eh. You know, the irony, another story of, side stories of this, is that the person, kasi ginawa ito ni Lee Kuan Yew, the person, yung mga katabi niya, mga atabs, mga bata pa, tirayin niya lahat yun. Lahat, hila-hila niyo, karag-karag niyo yung lahat. Nilagay niya sa kanya-kanyang ahensya and secondary level position. Lahat yun tirayin niya. Kaya lang sa kanila, nakinig yung mga yun. Eh, yung sa akin, yung mga tinabi ko, gusto gawin yung sarili nilang katang-isip, or untested. Kaya umiiba ng landas. Kaya, kayo, pag didiscusan niyo yan, talagang, when there is something good, and something that is called effective, and mapuputol na yung liderato, you must seek a person that will continue something that is beneficial. Hindi dahil sa, ano lang, yung, anong tawag yan? Magulak-lak na, anong tawag? Word eh. Advocacy. Hindi nyo po maisasain yan. Maniwala po. It is the act. When you say something, you put work on it, show results. And I've been to a lot of billionaires, although ako isa sa blessing ko, nakakausap ako ng mga matatanda sa akin at mas matatagumpay sa kanya-kanyang sektor. Isa lang ang common na naririnig ko lagi sa kanila. Even your boss. Isa lang ang common na naririnig ko. Results matter. It's always the result that matters. That's why we continue to build schools. And we will continue, despite of our fiscal challenges, we will. Harang naman kami ng tangke. Because ayaw ko na ang isang batang mag-aaral sa loob ng pampublikong paaralan nang gigitatak sa init. At ang ayaw ko, yung teacher ko, na kukonsumi sa aming makukulit na mag-aaral dahil sesenta kami sa classroom na tinuturuan niya at makukulit din kami. So these are the things that affects the quality of education inside the classroom. And there is science on it. It's not my idea. Binasa ko lang yung pag-aaral. At yung pag-aaral ay may resulta. At siyang aking kinopya. Now, recently, through the help, this is an idea that we had and shared it to the President. And I said, Mr. President, I have this idea during my first term. Gigibahin ko yung hospital ng Maynila na luma kasi hindi na siya fitting to address the population today, in demand. I have to create more space, more equipment, brand new and everything. It's lesser cost to maintain when it is brand new, which we did. Then, the next plan is to expand Pamantasan Lungsod ng Maynila because in Pamantasan Lungsod ng Maynila, College of Health, Allied Health Science, or basta College of Medical School, or Medical School, we've been producing top-notch students. Sabay namin yung mga estudyante ng Muste. Pag makikita mo doon sa yung mga top 10, nyanggahan kami noong mga estudyante nila. And I said, but our space can only occupy a cap of 300. I have a dream. I have a dream to participate in nation building as local government unit. I want to produce more doctors and nurses and medical practitioners. Then I did. Salamat. I owe it to him. On behalf of the people of Manila. Kino. Ngayon, tinatayo po Pamantasan Lungsod ng Maynila College of Medicine doon sa Quirino Avenue. From 300 heads, now we can produce 5,000 students under the College of Medicine alone. At pag yun lang ang unang mong titignan, mukhang yun lang ang unang tumama. Remember, sinabi ng mga teacher natin ito, space occupied by matter, lesser space. If I pulled out students in PLM ground in Intramuros, I created a space. Then now we can produce more lawyers, more engineers, and other fields or expertise in the future ng bawat mga mag-aaral. So, you hit two birds in one stone. That's why kami, pumanatag kayo. Pag wala na kayo pag-tuition fee sa state, punta kayo sa amin. But not only that, last year, for the past, I think 2 years, merong regulasyon ang DepEd to come up with other materials or teaching equipment in our primary and public education system. Grade 1 in there. And we did. We did comply. A little. Ample compliance. But this year, by June, 300 plus classroom. Before opening of the class, this year in our public education system in the primary schools, will now at least, we say, 100% with AVP, audiovisual products needed in our classroom in the city of Manila by May of this year. Kaya fully compliant ang inyong pamahalang lungsod ng Manila. And the recent and most famous to some, yung ginawang Yormel. Mas mga tayo pala na Yormel. Oy, ano lang hindi ko idea yun Sabi kasi nung mag-aaral, nag-study, kasi I want to bring back what we received when we were young. And before lumabas, ito lang, balita, tingnan ninyo, i-google ninyo. Before lumabas yung DOH study of what you call stunting in the country, ito lang yan, mga, I think a month or two, I saw a data that there is stunting in the country. Ang Manila ay bahagi ng bansa. So the assumption, the conservative way to approach it is aminin mo sa sarili mo, pwede ka muna. Baka may problema mga ATAPs natin. Which turned out to be when I directed MHD, MDSW, check nyo nga yung mga mag-aaral ko. True enough. Then, fortunately, I attended a conversation like this through NDA, National Dairy Authority. I found out na marami palang gatas ang natatapon sa kalsada, sa farm. Kasi walang merkado or demand. Kala mo pagkalulubin talaga ng Diyos, ano? Mamukat-mukat mo, malalagay ka sa tamang ano eh. Mailulugar ka ng maayos eh. May problema ako, may pera ako, wala akong merkado, wala akong produkto. I was in a forum like this, then it turned out to be, boom, panis. Gatas sa farm. For the first time, local government unit acquired directly from a cooperative and bring it to Manila 3 times a week. Fresh milk to 21,000 students every single week in our day. Now, ano resulta? Mas makinis ang mga mukha ng ATAPs ko ngayon. Mas masigla, mas masaya, mas excited. Huh? And with the result, because this is not just 1 week, this is a 90-day. The national government speaks of 1 month or 2 months. We, 3 months, 1 quarter. Para tingnan ko talaga kung may pupunan ng kunwari lang naman, kastahan ko na ng maayos, makita natin na kung effective. Which it did. Now, I'm happy to share if your Manilans here. By June, we are going to reach 60,000 students because we're going to elevate what we have started. From daycare, now we're going to go to DepEd or the primary education, which is your own kindergarten and grade 1. Kaya para tumigas ang buto ng mga ATAPs sa Maynila. I'm happy for that. Decent work. That's why, nakikita ko kasi si SM. Ayan, si SM. Kasi sila ang magpapatunay nito on how your city is liberalizing rules. Because there's too much discretion. When I first became mayor, through the years of my experience, being a councilor for 9 years, being a vice mayor for 9 years, 8, sa mga ATAPs na mukhang kasing edad lang ng trabaho ko dito, baka hindi pa kayo pinapanganak. 18 years straight, 18 years of my life straight was dedicated to public service and learning before I became mayor. Kasi iba naman sa inyo, parang 18 anyos pa lang dito. 19, yung iba. Naintindihan nyo na yun. I've been in the government for so long that I've learned success and failures of leaders and organization. And that's why, during my first term, we introduced Go Manila. Go Manila is not your social act. Go Manila as like what my professor in Boston said. And I was there in 2012, taking up some courses for what you call the executive programs. Tumusok sa akin yun. Sabi niya, professor ko po ito, hindi po akong isabi. During our class, about 50 in the classroom. Sabi niya, you cannot solve corruption. Sabi niya. Siyempre, nag-murmuring kami lahat. Lalo na ako. Akala ko ba magaling na eskwelahan to? Bakit ito pinag-uusapan dito? Oh. Sabi yan, you cannot solve corruption. Pero quit pala yun, hindi pala yun tuldo. Oh. Sabi niya, you cannot solve corruption. But the only way for corruption to die, its natural course, is you limit human discretion in government transaction. Pag yun ay nawala, naturally, without lifting a finger, you don't have to be a member of whatever organization to have good governance. No. You put a system that people will adopt. And later on, you'll see, naturally, mamamatay yung mga ganong uring, madidilim na karanasan natin noong nakaraang taon. That Go Manila is the product of that teaching. Kaya malaking bagay itong mga ganitong ginagawa niyong seminar kasi hindi mo malalaman sa mga isip at damdamin ng mga mag-aaral dito kung ano tutusok sa kanila. But with that, no, we came up with an idea wherein we tried at first the business permit, you go online. Hindi ka na pupunta sa City Hall. And you do the math. You want to talk about sustainability? Then I'm going to tell you mathematics of it. There is a 100 square meter in BPLO. And there is about 50,000 businesses in the city of Manila. And there is about 365 days. 50,000 divided by 365 days minus 52 weeks times 2. Mga engineer. 52 weeks times 2 is non-office day. So what is the remaining days? Is the divisor of 50,000. Then you put them in a 100 square meter space. No wonder, even SM, our partner, from time to time, we utilize their space. And the victims of pamimingwit, marami yung isdaan sa Maynila. Kasi baka po City Hall o may isda, pinamimingwit po yun ng mga fixer. Kaya sila na biktima. Ma'am, gusto mo mapadali yan? Ma'am, tulungan na kita. Sir, taktay, yari na. Turn out to be victims. That's why we introduced that. The irony of this is we failed. Oh, maniwala kayo. Sabi ko po sa inyo, hindi lang usak sa sarili ko, kwento ko. Are you still okay sa kwentuhan? Okay. We failed. I failed. When we fail, I fail. We failed for the people to adopt. Oh my God, ayaw pa rin ako daw yung online. Kasi ayaw nila magbayad ng online. Natatakot sila kung totoo o hindi. But again, adversity struck us. Not Manila, not Philippines, but the world. Pandemic came. Napuso si Shopee at Lazada. Because of change of habit in transaction, in private transaction ng tao, unti-unting natuto ang tao na ang pagbabayad pala ng online ay totoo, nangyayari. Kasi dati, beri mo, 50,000. Ang average namin in 1 quarter, my God, 300, 400. Now, because of that incident, that adversity, the pandemic came, COVID-19 came, people adapted to online meetings, online transaction, Grab here, Panda there, Shopee here, and so on and so forth. People realizing it's okay to pay online. And then, boom, the numbers. Saan kayo nakakita? Ito po, itatangos nyo ng ilong kung kayo'y taga Maynila. Saan ka nakakita bumabagyo? May dilubyo. Kumikita ang Maynila. Saan ka nakakita Sabado? Saan ka nakakita holiday? Saan ka nakakita linggo? Kumikita ang lungsod ng Maynila. Because those people can now pay any time of the day. Before, after 5 o'clock, ito po, nasa batas po ito. After 5 o'clock, hindi nag-extend ng gobyerno on the last day, penalize ka na. And penalties and surcharges of not paying on time. Now, you have an 11:59 p.m. And in the convenience of your fingertips. The one time, Paul, lumag ka. Kinita natin kahapon. Kasi minsan nagtatrabaho kami ng linggo. Boss, 37 million po nagbayad online. Boss, 17 million po. Boss, 5 million po. Paying online. Thanks to you. Thanks to the taxpayer believing in a system created by the City of Manila. Now we're going to assessment. Now we're going to make it bigger. And that's why Go Manila became an awardee. Anong bigay po sa amin ng award? Mga international pa. But I think PCCI, I think Chamber of Commerce gave us recognition on our effort. Is it sustainable? O ibigay niyo nawala ako. O nga pala, nung nawala ako, kinalikot lang ng kaunti. Nagbigay yung approval and disapproval. Pero huwag kayo mag-alala ngayon, tinanggal ko na yung tao na yun. Because I really don't want anybody interfering in the system. And now we're creating another program that nobody can interfere in it. Kaya pumanatag naman ho kayo. Tuloy-tuloy nyo lang ang pagbabayad online. Mas gusto ko nagbabayad kayo online. Kasi parang hindi na kayo matraffic sa city ko. Hindi na kayo mabiktima ng kung sino-sinong mga tulongyos na kuminatitira. So why is it very important to business to strive and excel at kumita? Because the more silang kumikita, the more jobs that I can offer for my people. Napakalaking bagay. Kumita na yung utaw, yung negosyante, may trabaho yung utaw, dahil may trabaho, kumikita. Pagdating ng December 31, sa ayaw sa gusto nilang lahat, there are only two things in this world that is guaranteed. Debt and taxes. By December 31, tatangkod lang kami. Wala kaming gagawin bilang pamahalaan. Sasapuhin lang namin yung inyong ibabayad. So now, if your tax base is horizontal, you don't need to go vertical. Pag lumapad ang tax base mo, you can be static in terms of percentage and all other things. Because you can continue to sustain high cost of operation. Yeah. Except sa garbage fee nung nakaraan. Opo, mahal po magtapon ng basura ngayon. But, I can safely, comparatively, kami may pinakamurang tax base or taxes in the city, in Metro Manila. One of the, if not. Because I want business to continue to grow. And we grew by 9% in just 6 months. We grew by 9% in just 6 months. Bringing back the same policy, liberalizing rules, and limiting human discretion in government transaction. And coming up with technology that, cut down what you call involuntary donation. Sa mga negosyante na iintindihan yung what you call involuntary donation. At dahil po doon, munti-munti po kaming mali magagamot. And our fiscal problem at 10.3 billion commercial obligation in our first assessment, about 5 years to cure. Now, I, your mayor, before you today, if we continue to experience 2 growths already, dalawang magkasunod na growth. From 9%, this quarter, we grew by 24%. Grew in such a way, efficient collection, proper. Piso, nakolekta, kokolektahin, piso, pumasok sa kaban ng bayan. If that will continue, our modest assessment is that by 3 years, sana talaga, panagpuna yung gastusin at kitain sa lungsod ng Maynila. But if not, don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, I'll do my best. I really going to do my best to achieve that. Next, reduce inequalities in sustainable cities and communities. Just last Saturday, your city of Manila. Ito yung pangarap ko noong 2020. Hindi ko lang naituloy kasi Abril ko gagawin, diniklara ang shutdown or lockdown Marso. But I'm happy to share that the Summer Pride, the Manila Summer Pride happened last week with thousands of members of LGBTQIA community in the city of Manila and non-residents joined the festivities. And this is our one way or message to everyone. Katulad ng lagi ko sinasabi sa aking mga what you call talk to the people. Sabi ko lagi, sa Maynila, walang mahirap, walang middle class, walang mayaman. Walang lalaki, walang babae, walang tomboy, walang bakla. Lahat kayo ay mamamayan ng lungsod ng Maynila. Pantay-pantay sa mata ng pamahalaang lungsod ng Maynila. Your personal preference is yours. But when you are given a task to participate or part of an organization like the city government, you are always welcome and you can excel from it. Pantay-pantay ang pagtingin namin. And this is our message to the mothers and fathers of those members of that community. Sa Maynila, pumanatag kayo. There is a safe space, safe place for them here in the city. Whether they are working here or coming in and out of the city. Sa Manila, namumutos ako sa prejudice. Lalo sa opisina, nangungunyat ako. Yan. Yan siya. Because that's what you call respect to human being. And giving value, equal opportunity for any citizen in their respected or field of undertaking. Yun po ang aking policy. Kaya po sa Maynila, sabi ko nga, welcome po kayo sa lungsod ng Maynila. And we're gonna go bigger next year. Now, because a city that leaves anyone behind is not a sustainable city. Not the poor, not the sick, not the marginalized, not anyone. Manila stands for dignity, equality, safe space for all. And this is not an advocacy. We mean it. We practice it. Sustainability is not a poster in the wall of City Hall. It is not a well-produced video at the forum. The proof is in the streets, in the hospitals, in the classrooms, in the family. But now, it's a fighting chance because their government actually showed up for them. To the students of University of Santo Tomas and CEU, I want to speak to you directly for a moment. You are what the Manila Bulletin calls the future champions of sustainability. That I agree completely. Let me add one thing. Do not wait to be champion someday. Start where you are right now. Hold your leaders Sinabi ko na to nung 22 eh. Tingnan nyo ko na sa YouTube pa to. Sa commercial ko. Mag-demand kayo. You should demand. Mag-demand kayo. Better services. Better leaders. It's not because yung jowa mo, crush yung kandidato. Dahil kaibigan mo, baka yan friend ka. No, you should demand. Ano ba ang uri? Leader ng hinahanap. Kaya, dumating sana nawa. Loobin nawa ng Diyos. That someday, dumating yung maturity of us, you, knowing. May mga tao na, sino ba kumain? Balat kayo pala, ang buhay sa mundo. Sino kumain? Kapanahamunan nyo yun. Ha? Angelic Castel. Really have to be very careful. Ako hindi ko papasensya ninyo. Minsan parang magaspang ang situation. I grew up that way. Pinilit ko namang lihayin ang sarili ko. No? Pinipilit ko lihayin. Kaya mo nakakapag-English na ako. Magagang gumaganda-ganda na yung diction ko sa iba. Practice, please. Perfect. Mahirap kasi magkasunod yung visa kayo. But, kidding aside, I really want you guys. Kasi you'll be the next mother. You're gonna be the next father, the next business owner, the next doctor, the next professionals. You're gonna be the next. Una-una lang yan. Yung ba dito, kundi na nga naman birthday eh. Tatabi-tabi. Pagpapantay ang panahon. And you're gonna be the next. Kaya, magsuri kayo. Don't just be a member of something just because nyanga kayo ng bechi mo o bestie mo. No? Be your own. You can be friends, you can be involved, but yung individuality, napakahalaga po. Kasi doon po maraming nahuliligaw. Sama-sama tayo. Tapos pag may concert mo, ayun na. Yari na naman kami mga walang tsansa. Ganun yun. Yan po ang bagay na tingin kong kailangan yung i-demand. Kasi alam niyo po bakit? Hindi niya nakita yung Facebook ko. Okay. I'm about to end. But I have to share something. Why am I utilizing social media? The initial commentaries will be, sumusumikat. Unang-una po, marami namang politiko sikat na eh. Unang-una, naboto nga eh. Kung hindi ba naman sikat yun, hindi mabuboto yun. Kung hindi siya kilala nila. Pero ito, deep inside that. And I think a lot of leaders that I've spoke with, awan na may grabat ko. Nakinausap ko. Social media, which yung professor ko po kasi yung founder ng LinkedIn when I was in Boston. So I was taught of this in 2012 pa. Sabi niya, it's free. But if you look at it differently, you can utilize social media as a form of communication and making yourself closer to the people. If you open yourself to these sensible people, hindi troll, hindi copes, but sensible people in the community, if you engage them, it teaches you to be a better leader every single day because people are demanding good services, problems needs to be addressed, and so on. So the only space in between the people and the government is the glass. in your home. Kaya lang, may downside. May downside po yun. Ang downside po nun, masakit sa katawan sa leader. Kasi you're gonna do a lot of readings. Yan ang gamit namin. That's why I created MBIO, even their page. I created Talk to the People. I created Your Mess Hour. I created Posting. You know why? It's not for everyone. Why? Ito yung ginagawa namin. It's just telling you guys, and even somebody who shared an idea with us, na, o nga pala, ito yung sinabi mong posting tagilid. Thank you, netizen. Kaya yung mga tologes, takot na takot sa akin eh. Yung mga kriminal sa Maynila, ninenervous sa akin. Alam niyo bakit? 2 milyon ng CCTV sa Maynila eh. Dumating na kami sa point na ang CCTV namin ay taong bayan. Because people start believing in this government that when they send a particular data to our pages, we protect those citizens and we do what we should be doing, enforcing. And kung manatag kayo, nakita pa akong moderator, nandito yata si Father, o kung manatag kayo, kakalawitin namin sila. I don't care spending every single cent of taxpayers' money to capture all those criminals, petty crimes, and so on and so on. Capture them alive and bring them to justice. Because it is not for me to decide whether this person is guilty or not. My job is to enforce. My job is to keep the peace and order situation at bay. My job is to maging maliwala sa panatag ang pamumuhay sa Maynila. My job is to prevent. If I fail to prevent, we make them pay. We bring them to justice. We deliver justice to the victim. And I will let si judge o si yung musgado ang magpasya o kung sila ay may sala o wala. And that is what we are using, that social media. At yun ay magagamit. Ilan na ba estudyante ng UST ang naagawan ng cellphone sa Espanya? Ilan na ba nagtubukan sa inyo? Sa EU, sa CEU, and so on and so on. Pero tingnan nyo ngayon, kahit Solving Boy dito, kinakabahan sa amin. We're not a perfect government. Petty crimes will continue to happen. And I hope someday makarating kayo sa Paris. And I'm going to say it publicly. That's the worst place. Paris is the worst place to visit. May mga makaka-relate sa akin dito. But someday, you're going to go there. I'm going to tell you straight. You think Tondo? Challenging? Naku! Niwala kami sa kulangot. Sa kaguluhan ng mga magnanakaw sa Paris. You know how dangerous Paris is? You fall in line, Hermes, Chanel, di ba pila-pila? Paatik din itong mga tindahan na ito eh. Pasabi. Pwede ka naman pumasok. No, we cannot occupy. There's only... Pero doon ka sa labas. O doon ka mismo akawal. And the police will never, ever, ever attend to your situation. You know why? We're busy of other things. Nakarinig pa ako sa isang pulis eh. You went in. It's your fault. Wow! Totoo to. Kaya na-invento yung ano eh, yung isang bag na yung hindi mahiwa-hiwa. There's a brand because of Paris. It's the worst place. I love Paris, architecturally. But I will never go like a normal day. Gusto ko mamasyal. Doon na lang ako sa Amsterdam. Chill-chill lang kami doon sa Amsterdam. Yeah, I tried to understand places, cultures, and customs on what I can adapt in our city. In Paris, hold up, snatching ang abuti mo. Pag pumalagkak, kulata ang abuti mo. Sa Maynila, subukan mo ng ganyan. Magtago ka na sa lelang mong panot. Lahat ng kuweba, hanapin mo na sa buong Pilipinas. I don't care apprehending you 3 hours after, 5 hours after, 2 years after, 5 years after. I really don't care. I'm gonna go after you. And I'll make it to a point wherein your 3,000 pesos worth of pagsanla ng cellphone ng estudyante ng bata is not worth it doing it in Manila. That is a commitment and a promise. There, oh my God, good luck sa inyo. Marami yan. I'm not bad-mouthing past, but that's true. I'm stating the past. So, ibig sabihin, crimes can happen anywhere in the world, but here in Manila, we will continue. We will continue and do our best to enforce our laws in the city and to create certainty in the city of Manila. Kaya yan eh, yung pag may nakikita kayo, yung page ko naman, may check yun, di ba? May naman yun. O kaya sa MPIO, mga confirmed pages, you go send it there, and I'll do my best to do our job well. So, muli sa inyong lahat, bilang panghuli, I will summarize everything in 3-letter word, or 3 letters, it's not even a word. Mali na naman ako sabi ng teacher ko, tanga na talaga. It's just 3 letters. MBN. Maraming salamat sa teacher ko sa NC5 when I was there. MBN. Doon, nakatuon. Our little resources as City Government of Manila will continue to invest great sum of our little resources to MBN. Minimum Basic Needs. Housing, education, healthcare, and jobs. Why? Tingnan ninyo yung ano ninyo. Yung ginawa niyong team. Uplifting community. MBN. Pag mataas ang antas, quality of life. Kasi hindi ko kayo kayang payamanin. That I cannot give you. Hindi po ako loto outlet. I cannot do that. I cannot. But what I can do as government is pataasin ang antas ng pamumuhay ng tao. Tao may masisilungan, may kapanatagan. Umulan, bumagyo, pagkaroon ng dilubyo, may mauwian. Yung tatay papasok sa trabaho at makapaghahanap buhay. Ganun din maarayo lang nanay. Yung atabs papasok sa eskwela na maayos na eskwela. Pag ang pamilya nagkasakit, may maayos na ospital. Yung pagsagot sa asignatura, trabaho mo yun. Yung pagpasok sa trabaho, trabaho mo yun. If I can give this basic that surrounds a family's needs, yung pangangailangan, pangunahing pangangailangan ng isang pamilya, then naturally, tataas ang kalidad ng pamumuhay ng tao. Now, yun yung pakbet. Yun yung sitaw, yun yung Ricardo. Yung pampasarap ng Ricardo, umami. That's why you've been hearing City of Manila going and reclaiming open space and convert it into open green space. You've heard, nag-introduce kanina, na we are building, creating, and going to plant 100,000 bamboo trees in the City of Manila. One, something to do with flood, but portion of it. But I want to make it cooler because there is already science on it. More shades in a highly urbanized city is more maliwalas. Tapos, ito ang the best. Ito ang suma total ng pinakamagandang epekto niya. We have an AQM in the city. Air quality machine given to us by DNR during my first term. Still functioning. Because I want to have at least passing average or above average of good air quality in the city of Manila. It is hard to achieve because every single day we're going to be challenged by Espanya, Quiapo, Commonwealth, Quiapo, or Baclaran, Commonwealth, via Espanya, via Tac Avenue, and the entire 4,000 trucks coming in and out of Port of Manila with loaded and unloaded trucks. That produces so much carbon in the air, and that's why I'm going to confront it. Because you deserve to have a better air quality in a highly urbanized setting like the city of Manila. And that we are going to deliver this year of those 100,000 bamboos in the city. In the coming few weeks, what we have started in a few months ago, we will deliver the first ever pet park in the city. Yung malaalikabok na nakikita nyo araw-araw for so long here in Nagtahan. Yung isa may Nagtahan ng Tagling, di ba yung ilalim ng alikabok nun? At ginawa na paradahan, akala mo libre parking nyo? No, I put an end to it. Through MMDA and the City of Manila, join together, mix money, pera ng, may mga bagong formula ngayon na ginagawa natin. Office of the President, LGSF, City of Manila, mix pack tayo. MMDA, pera nila, City of Manila, konting pera namin, marami silang pera, join tayo, pack tayo. Nangyayari yun. It's happening now. Tapos sa inyo, sanay ako na wala. Abilidad lang paminsan-minsan. But the thing is now, we continue to get as many open space and convert it into open green space. Yun yung umami. Yung Maynila luma, UST luma. Matanda pa sa lolo ko to. But, yes, it's true Manila is luma. While it is true Manila is old. Pero pwede natin gawin itong maaliwalas at panatag ang pamayanan. I'd rather have this kind of city with full of character and history because it has its own soul. Yun ang kayamanan ng Maynila. They may have a better designed building there somewhere in the east. They may have all the unwired building that good for you guys. But the uniqueness of Manila is something that we continue to nourish and we take it as an advantage because we have a lot of story to tell about Manila. That's why we have a campaign in Manila, in our tourism campaign. We call it, we owe it to Nick Joaquin. Inadapt ko lang to kay Nick Joaquin. We call it Manila, My Manila. Is it my Manila? Yes, I'm from Manila. Is it your Manila? I hope you don't mind. Is yung nakaputing t-shirt na may pink, ikaw. Taga saan ka? Where do you live? Cavite. It is your Manila. It is our Manila. Why? Because one way or another, we have a story to tell about Manila because Manila is part of our life. That's why we can honestly say, as Filipino, as Metro Manila, as Manila, it is Manila, my Manila. Yan ang aming sinasabi. Now, it is now our Manila. I want you to participate. Uy, pwede ha? Yung passing lang. Yung mga dinudot-dot-dot yun sa Fusion Alley, ha? Lagay nyo lang sa tamang sisidlan. I'm happy for you. You're enjoying it. It is the city's effort. Inayos talaga yan, no? But let's make it clean. Because whatever I said, I've done, and going to do in the coming weeks, months of our lives as your mayor, I cannot do it alone. Alam niyo, pag kaya ko, kaya ko. Kaya kong umatang nung 10 anyos ako ng 20 kilos ng alcohol. I know hanggang saan lang ang kakayanan ko. But, so I am asking each and every one of you, help me. We have to come together. Because together, we can make Manila great again. Magandang araw at pagpalain ko. Maraming salamat. Manila, God first. Thank you.
Once again, sustainable success after sustainable success. Maraming salamat, Honorable Mayor Isko Moreno, everyone. Right after that very meaty speech, Mayor, I'd love to have you right